Hello, beautiful geeks. Good afternoon, actually. I shouldn't say good morning. It's a little bit too late. This is Lewis coming to you once again for Geeky Podcast number 6. Sorry that I'm so late this morning, but last night was a long night. Woo! No, not really. I went to watch a show, Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy. So we got home really late, but that's why I'm so late on the podcast. But nonetheless, here we are, guys. How is everybody doing today on this beautiful Saturday morning of September 2nd? 2017. Seems like the heat's starting to go away slowly, guys, which it's sad, but we gotta make do with what is coming, which is the winter, right? So let's make the best out of it. Like I've said before, why not? With that said, guys, a couple of things that I want to go over today. Mainly, the main reason of today's podcast, it's going to be to go over everything wrong with Netflix's Death Note. So that's going to be the main thing, number one, that we're going to talk about. But before we get to that, I know that something showed up recently saying that they really want Leonardo DiCaprio for that new Joker movie that it's rumored to be happening. And yeah, so that is really happening, guys. I mean, it's a rumor. It may not happen yet. I mean, apparently Hollywood wants him really bad to play the Joker, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna get it. So that is the goodish news, baddish news. I mean, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a great actor. Question is, do we want him as the Joker? That's what it comes down to. That is the big question that everybody's asking right now. It was very recent. It was like at the end of this week, maybe middle of this week, that we found out that they wanted him to play the Joker. But we don't know what's going to happen with that. But it's worth to keep an eye out. Do I think he would be a good Joker? I honestly don't know, guys. I really don't. I mean, maybe. I mean, the guy has done it all. He's won an Oscar after so many years of winning an Oscar for Best Actor. So, do I think he has the acting skills to pull it off? Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, I was under the impression that this Joker movie they wanted to do was a sort of origin story. Perhaps I was wrong. Sort of a how it all started origin story. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is not the youngest guy anymore. So he's going to be playing a more experienced Joker, if you may. And that's to not call him, like, older. And I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Here's how I stand on that. Because apparently Jared Leto is upset. And you cannot blame the guy. Because Jared Leto was already picked as the Joker. And then you have now another idea. And is it going to take place in the same universe? Most likely it's going to be different. And it is. But when you have the Scorsese, the guy who wants to make the movie, if he says, Leo, I want you in the movie, I'm not going to say no if I were Leo DiCaprio, you know. But it's going to come down to the next few days or next few months to see if it's really going to happen. Will Leo actually be the new Joker? I don't know. We shall see. But we'll touch on that topic a little later, maybe in another podcast, because like I said, guys, the main reason why I wanted to talk about this podcast is because I want to talk about Netflix Death Note. And of course, there's going to be spoiler talk. So if you guys have not seen the movie, please come watch this podcast later. After you have seen the movie. I wish I could tell you it was a good movie, but it wasn't. That's me being honest. I actually made a 1-minute review on the movie as well. If you're watching live, you can go watch that 1-minute review right now if you really don't want to watch the movie. I mean, I don't want to recommend to you the movie because it hurts my soul to tell you to go watch the movie that just like shot all over one of my favorite animes and mangas of all time. But if you guys want to go through it, I know every once in a while everybody needs to watch a bad movie, something I think. You need to watch a bad movie so you can understand and really appreciate good movies. Although you don't really need to watch bad movies to appreciate good movies. But I'm just rambling here. The point is, if you guys are watching this later, I'll put a card up here somewhere so you guys can watch the Death Note 1 minute review. But we're going to get right to it, guys. Holy shit. How bad was that movie? How bad was that movie? I'm not gonna lie, guys. I touched this also a little bit, excuse me, on my previous podcast from last week, on podcast number 5. And what I was saying is that I never started watching the movie thinking to myself, I'm going to hate this movie. On the contrary, I went in it with such an open mind and such an open heart. I was like, okay, I want to give Hollywood, Netflix the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to judge just because of other adaptations. I'm talking to you, Ghost in the Shell, that they have made for Japanese material. Or material in general that they just decide to whitewash or Americanize or Hollywoodize. I went in with an open mind, I sat down, my fiance and I, we actually... She hadn't finished. She hadn't watched the anime. So we started the journey of watching the anime a little over a year ago, I want to say. And we're busy. We're really busy all the time. So it's hard for us to catch up on our TV shows. So we put Death Note in front of everything. I know she would like it. I enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite animes. And we sat down and we finished watching it. And she enjoyed it, We finished it the day before, the 24th of August we finished, and the movie came out the 25th, which was a Friday. It was last Friday, actually. And it was one of those things that I'm glad that she watched the anime before she watched the show. She wanted to. She said, no, I want to finish the anime before I finish before I watch the movie on Netflix, because I really want to know the differences, blah, blah, blah. Ironically, this was the downfall of the movie. Because if you have seen the anime and you have read the mangas, all right, hear me out. This movie is a slap in the face for you. That's what it comes down to. It is a slap in the face, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because it is horrible. I'm going to start with... I'm not going to break out every single detail of the movie because, like I said, I do still think you should still watch it. Because even though it was a POS, I think maybe if you have seen the anime and the manga, go watch the disrespect that they've done. But I almost want to put it like, you guys remember Dragon Ball Evolution? I want to say it's such an insult that I can compare it to that other movie, Dragon Ball Evolution. It was so bad. Alright, I'm going to start with the main character, Light, who, by the way, he's got Fairly Odd Parents in this one because his last name is Turner. Light Turner. So from the start, you have a character that I think they could have maybe no Yagami, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky, like I said. But you have Light Turner, which is the complete opposite of Light Yagami, who is the protagonist of the anime and manga. So in the anime and manga, Light is one of the most meticulous, smart sons of bitches I've ever seen or read about anywhere. And from the start, you get introduced to this like pathetic excuse of a man-child that is the main character of the movie, who shares the same name, Light, but he doesn't share the wits or anything else that the character from the original source has. Light was known for two things in the anime. He was crazy and he was smart. He went toe-to-toe with L, which I want to get to in a second, and he was able to keep up with the police. Actually, he was able to keep up like 5 steps ahead. And in the movie, holy God, within the first half an hour of the movie, I want to say less, we have Light revealing that he is Kira to this girl, because the power of Punani. And he reveals himself to her, and she's like, oh, oh my god. And then they start this weird relationship that you're wondering, does she really like Light, or does she like the freaking Death Note? And you just wondering to yourself the whole time, why? Like, the Light from the anime and or manga would have never done that. And I know what some people's arguments is. They're like, oh, well, this is for the American people. That's what an American kid in high school would do. And to you, with all due respect, shush. No. I get it. But you have to understand that, and this is something that I've heard before, and it's true. These... And that's why I kind of get it, but at the same time I don't. These people are not making these movies for the fans. They're not. And it is something that I have discussed before in Professor Bill's podcast in Comic Book University. And they don't make these movies for the fans. The fans are already a given. The fans say the name Death Note, and they're going to watch it. They make these movies for the people who maybe want to just start to get into them. And it's true. Yes, they know that they have the fans, and they know that that's a ticket right there. In this case, it's Netflix. But still, they know that right away they're going to buy a ticket for it because it's something that they have grown up with, or it's something that they are familiar with. So, yes, they're going to go for it. So, that is a giant middle finger to the fans who have been watching or who have seen it for such a long time. But unfortunately, guys, that is what Hollywood is right now. They try to... And I really don't like to use the word whitewash, because I don't like terms that use race in them. I'm going to say they code it with a American painting type thing. It sounds just as bad. But they like to... See, I don't even have another word for it. They like to change shit. There you go. That's the best way I can put it. And why? Because reasons. You know, they had a perfectly good source, but I guess they thought it wouldn't translate well, for the American public. Which, if you think about it, the American public is probably most of the audience for the anime. I mean, Japan, of course, had a lot, but a lot of people that I know watch Death Note. And a lot of people that I know hated the movie. So, like I said in my review, if this is the first exposure that you have to Death Note, I am so sorry. But at the same time, since it is your first exposure, you may actually enjoy it. I've seen a lot of comments on forums and stuff of people saying, you know what, it wasn't that bad. I watched it. Granted, I've never seen the anime or the manga, or read the manga. My friend Juan Andres, he actually commented on my video. He's like, oh, you know what, I never seen the anime or manga. I don't think it was that bad. Emphasis on the I've never seen the anime or read the manga. So, as much as it hurts to admit, yes, maybe if you haven't seen the anime or read the manga, you can be like, wow, this is such a cool movie. It's very original, you know, some kid, crazy kid, you know, he has this complex of grandeur. He gets this awesome book that if he writes names, people die. That's so freaking cool. You know, I heard that it's based on this Japanese thing called Death Note as well. Wow, that is really cool. I've never seen the anime or read the manga, but this is pretty cool. I like the idea. I love this. And this is stuff that I've actually read and heard from people. Because they have never seen the original source. So for them, this is the original source. That was deep. So they have that argument. And I understand why, like I said. So in a way, I see why you would think they would say, yes, you know, this is a really good movie. I like it. You know, I enjoy it a lot. To which I say, paha. But hey, again, It is what it is. Moving on from Light, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. William Dafoe as Ryuk was the best thing this movie had to offer. And also, it's something a lot of people agree with me. He was fantastic. His voice was on point. The CGI used to make him was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. But on the bad side of Ryuk was... He had such a complete different persona in this movie compared to the original source. In the original source, Ryuk is a Shinigami. Yes, that's still the same. Also, they never used the word Shinigami, I don't think, in the movie. I don't remember because I really, really, really blanked out while watching this movie. They use just Death God. That's what they use. And he is a Shinigami who was born in the Shinigami world. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to drop my Death Note into the human world. And then I'm going to go have some fun. And that is what happened. He drops his Death Note and then Light gets it. And the meeting between him and Light was, in my opinion, way much better in the anime. So, Ryuk, one thing they kind of point out in the movie, when Light's like, whose side are you on? And he's like, there are no sides, blah, blah, blah. There's just whether you can play the game or not. Something like that. In the anime and manga, it's Ryuk actually tells him that he is not on his side. He's not on the police side. He's not anything of anybody's. But Light is such a smart SOB that he can manipulate indirectly Ryuk, as well as other Shinigami that shows up later in the anime. If you guys haven't seen the anime, I don't want to spoil anything, but this guy knows how to control people. You look at Netflix's Light, he doesn't even know how to control his haircut. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Ryuk, that is the angle of Ryuk that I did not like at all. Also, yes, Ryuk loves apples. But one of the funny aspects from the anime and manga is that Ryuk is almost like addicted to human apples. If he doesn't have apples, he starts like twisting and stuff. It's really fun. Kind of like it's almost like crack to him, you know? He needs it, so that's why he loves being around the human world. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about the anime and manga is that from the very beginning he tells Light, when your time of die comes, I'm going to be the one who writes your name on the Death Note. That doesn't happen in the movie at all. Okay. Moving on to L. Wow, L is probably some people's favorite character in and throughout the anime and manga. Why? Because L was just such a beautiful person. I mean, he was weird. He was OCD. He loves sweeties. They help him think. And they try to channel that in the movie. And off the bat, guys, I want to say that this has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. Alright? He could have been yellow, purple, Turkish, whatever. Turquoise, whatever. Turkish is a nationality. Turquoise, yellow, ducky, I don't care. But if you play the character right, go for it. And they try to get like him sitting down and everything, blah blah blah, right? But in the anime and manga, guys, he never loses his temper the way that he loses it in the movie. He's like a little bitch in the movie. In the anime and manga, he's so, he's always fresh, always calm. He never lets his feelings take over. He always tries his best, and he plays the game in such a wonderful way. But going back to the movie, he's a little weird, and he like loses it when he realizes that he cannot beat Kira. And it's so anti-L. Like, there's a scene where he steals like a police car, he has a gun, a whole bunch of stuff. And in the movie earlier, he mentions that he doesn't like guns, but then a few minutes later, he has a gun, you know. And L, they did him dirty. Like, they did the character dirty. That's what it comes down to. They portray him in a bitchy way, an annoying way, and I'm pretty sure anybody whose favorite character was L in the anime and or manga saw this movie and was like, oh my god, he is a little bitch. Which again is sad, because my favorite character was Ryuk, and in this one they made him look like a total douche. Like, seriously, he's just there to, like, he likes chaos in this movie. He likes to see, he's almost like the Joker. He wants to see the world burn in a way, you know? He likes to see things, and he's like, he loves the way humans interact, you know? It's weird. It reminded me a lot, like, at the end of the Death Note movie, when it was like, you humans are so interesting. It almost reminded me of the Mortal Kombat movie back in the day, when I don't know if you guys remember, if you've ever seen that movie, but at the end of that movie, Raiden is like, you humans are so unpredictable, and then blah blah blah, and then it ends with a dun 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 dun, you know, that movie. So it almost reminded me of that in a way, because that's what Ryuk was. He was just like a curious little SOB, and he just, I don't know, he just wasn't the Ryuk that I'm used to. And that was a huge pain in the culo for me, because I enjoyed Ryuk's character, and in here he was just completely different. Moving on, the rules of the Death Note. Okay, so for those of you guys who know, there is a series of rules in the Death Note that basically it's a how to use guide. And yes, there are a lot of rules on how to use the Death Note, and these rules are a big part of the anime and manga, because they play a lot into the plot of the story. In the movie, they kind of take their own approach on the rules. They're like, okay, yeah, those rules are cool, but then we're gonna add a few of our own. And they do. And some of the rules are like something that if they would have had in the actual anime, the anime would have gone a complete opposite way. Such as the fact that in the movie, if you write someone's name in the notebook, you can burn that page and then he won't die. You can do it once apparently, and then that person won't die. To which I say, bullshit. Because in the actual Death Note from the anime / manga, the rule, that rule was non-existent. In the anime or manga, if your name was written, there was nothing going to save you. Nothing at all. You know? And actually, I have something cool to show you guys. Just give me 1 second. Trust me, this will be worth it. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Watch my chair spin. That's a good sign. So I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but a couple of years back, in my expeditions through conventions, I got this beautiful piece right here. Yeah. That, my good fellas and my beautiful geeks, is a Death Note. Yes, sir. So I'm just going to show you what I mean by the rules. There is a whole bunch of them. Look at that. Death Note. You guys can't see him, but Ryuk's actually right there. But look, that's the Death Note. It's a really cool replica of it. And look at this. This is all rules. These are all the rules of the Death Note. Alright? And here is your basic number 1. See that? The human whose name is written in this node shall die. Right there. But then it keeps going. There is a whole bunch of rules. See that? Oh yeah. So yeah, that is a Death Note, guys. Yes, I have a Death Note, so I hope you've been good. Alright? So they completely changed the design of the book as well in the movie. But I mean, in the anime also it had lines like so, and in the live action movie from Netflix it didn't. It was just like a blank. It almost looked like a sketchbook. It was like a sketchbook that an artist would carry around to draw in his travels. That's what it looked like. But you know, I didn't think that was a big deal. I figure I could get along with that. That is the least of the concerns, guys, the design of the notebook, because I was okay with that. When you change the story, that's when I'm not okay with it. But yeah, they changed the rules, and then that rule play a big role in the end of the movie, you know. And also there is a Light and Ryuk. How sexy. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what that noise was. The ending of the movie plays such a big role, and then there's also the fact that yes, they put down that you can control people in the movie, just like in the anime, but in this one you can control nature and shit. You can control nature, you can control people, you can control coincidence, you know. And for those of you guys who have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At the end of the movie, he literally writes exactly everything that it's going to happen, almost like freaking Nostradamus would in a freaking prediction book, you know. He was like, oh yeah, this person's going to turn left, make a right, then he's going to scratch up here, then he's going to go and pull his ear, and then he's going to twist his hair, and then he's going to move left, right, up and down, and then he's going to throw a $5 bill, and the $5 bill is going to turn into an airplane, paper airplane, in the middle of the flight, and then he's going to go right over there, you know? That is the kind of usage they put for the Death Note in this movie. You can control pretty much everything, which was a huge WTF moment. Huge WTF moment. The pacing of the movie, guys, it's like within the first half an hour, you're just like, what? How did we get here? How? What? What? And then L had an encounter with Light within, like, I want to say the first 45 minutes to an hour, where basically Light doesn't deny anything. He's just like, yeah, I'm Kira. Not exactly like that, but the way he expresses himself, he might as well be holding a sign that says I'm guilty, you know. And the role that Mia plays in this movie, which would be Misa from the anime, Light was he was an SOB in the anime. He was using Misa pretty much, and in this one I feel like it was the other way around. I feel like Mia was the one who was just with Light so that she could get the Death Note eventually, you know? And then, I mean, at the end, you find out that Light was kind of playing her in a way, but he still loved her, you know? He was in love with her. So, as much as they want to give me that bullshit, nah, he liked her and everything. He just, at the end, had to, spoiler alert, had to kill her. In the anime and manga, Misa doesn't die. Misa survives the whole fiasco. But hey, one thing that I guess I liked about the movie is the fact that there was no Nier, because I hate that little son of a bitch. If you guys have read the original source or watched it, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I want to kick him in the face and twist his head. What? That was good. I mean, but there was also no Rem, which was another Shinigami, which I was kind of talking about before. There was no development, guys. There was no story development, and that is what killed this movie. The movie was rushed. I feel that maybe, if this were a TV show rather than a movie, I would have been on board with it more. Excuse me. But it wasn't. It was a movie. It was a Netflix movie. They tried to put in an hour and 40 minutes, I believe the movie was. Something that took over 30 episodes and over 10 mangas to tell this story. You know? And I think the moment that was the case, this movie was doomed. So this movie was doomed pretty much from the get-go, because it was always going to be just a small story with small characters with small ambitions, when the original source was a larger-than-life story with larger-than-life characters who had larger-than-life ambitions. And that, guys, is why I think the Death Note movie from Netflix is such a failure. I could go on. I could spend 6 hours just telling you why this movie was a disgrace to everybody. But I'm going to do you a favor and do myself a favor and not do that, because I'm trying to forget about it. And I don't like to put down things because I understand the amount of time, the amount of money, and the amount of editing and everything that goes into doing one of these movies. So I respect that. I will always respect that. I'm an artist myself. I have friends who are artists. I know what it's like to have your artwork critiqued in a bad way, not always in a good way. So, and that's what movies are. Movies, TV shows, are art, guys. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to tread lightly with these things, because you can mess up, and then there's a whole fan base of people who don't like the way you change stuff. Unfortunately, it's always going to happen. And I think that Hollywood's probably never going to get an adaptation right, because they're always going to want to put their 2 cents in, you know? Even franchises that have done a great job with adaptations, such as Harry Potter, they still change stuff, you know? Because I guess if you really wanted to do a TV show with all of this material, a movie with all of this material, it would have to be like a 6-hour movie. And I'm going to tell you why I'm upset about this, because for those of you guys, you know that show 13 Reasons Why on Netflix? That's a book. That's one book. The book is like yay big, and they turn that into a TV show. And then Death Note, that it's a whole series, you turn into a movie. See what I mean? But I'm not a Netflix guy, executive producer or anything, so what do I know? I'm just a fan. I'm just a geek. So, but hey. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think about the Death Note movie? We're at 32 minutes today. We're going to end it on that note. Final thoughts on Death Note. If you want to watch it at your own risk. But don't say I didn't warn you not to. With that said, guys, let me know in the comment section what do you guys think about the Death Note movie. If you guys have seen the anime and or manga, let me know down as well. Do not forget, guys, to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Look at my fluffy plushie.
Put me down! Help! They're gonna use me as a pillow! Stop squeezing down there. I'm not gonna say anything different. Oh, I ate too much. I gotta blow it up. Yep, I blew it up. You know, something tells me you have me somewhere that I probably shouldn't be right now. Oh my god, it's fluffy.
But yeah, like I said, I went to watch him live last night, and I got this as a little souvenir. Look how cute. Look how cute. It's a little fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias. For those of you guys, if you don't know him, he's a really great comedian. Check him out. But yeah, on that note, guys, we're going to end today's podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Again, sorry that it was so late. Like I said, I didn't get home till like almost 4 in the morning last night. And I opened my eyes and I was like, holy crap, I should really get up. And sorry that I haven't uploaded any videos this week, guys. It's just, it's been a busy, really busy week. No excuses. I'm just, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just letting you guys know. But I will try to have some videos up by the end of today and tomorrow as well. With that said, guys, you guys have been awesome. Don't watch Death Note. Just watch my review. Don't forget. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome and geek on. Lou is out.
Put me down! Help! They're gonna use me as a pillow!
Bye.